Hi, my name is Quinn. I am the host of the Art of Podcasting, and today we're going to do a little product review. I've got a very special piece. It is called the Zoom H4n, and I tell you what, dollar for dollar, pound for pound, you cannot buy a better recorder anywhere. Period. End of story. This recorder is that good for the price point. Now, the first thing I want to point out to you is a lot of people take their recorder and they use it as the primary source for their show. In other words, they don't record into the computer. They just use the recorder. And if you're going to be one of those type people, the first thing that I always look at is the connections. Because if you're going to take a recorder like this and you're going to use it every day, it's paramount that it makes a seamless connection into your mixer, whatever hardware it is. So the first thing I want to point out is at the bottom of the Zoom recorder, you're going to see two full size, and these are universal. It'll accept either an XLR jack, which as you'll notice, I have a professional grade Heil PR40. It's plugged into this recorder right now and actually doing this demo. So you can use a regular microphone XLR, or you can take something like this, which is a universal 1/4-inch jack. Now, the key thing to keep in mind is a lot of times you'll see people and they'll take their recorder like this and they'll try to take an XLR connection, which is what audio equipment is meant to use, and they'll try to jerry-rig that connection with some RCA jack or 1/8-inch plug or whatever it is. The problem is anytime I take a connection like this and then I start adding little universal components, each time I make that additional connection, it weakens the fidelity of the initial connection. So the first key in getting good quality sound is being able to work with the components as they were meant to work. And you want to be able to accept a 1/4-inch jack, which this thing can. The other thing, and like I said earlier, I am using a professional grade broadcast microphone, is when you take a recorder on the road, most people when they travel, if they have like a regular studio setup and then they go on the road, they're limited to only being able to use the microphones on the recorder itself. Now, while this does have a very good microphone on it, it's not anywhere near a broadcast quality microphone. So the difference being is if you're going to travel, say you're going to do a show in the Amazon rainforest and you want to make it sound just as good as your home studio, you need to be able to accept an XLR connection, which this does. And here's the beauty of this recorder. These two built-in microphones, I've used them for interviews, and like I say, they are adequate, but they have some additional features that most microphone recorders do not offer. The first of which is you can actually adjust the angle of recording by turning, just rotating the X and Y microphones. And what that essentially does is that either broadens or narrows the recording field of view. So maybe if I'm doing an interview with just one person, I narrow this down so that it just catches our voices. And then there might be times too where you're trying to capture like a band playing or a larger audience. You can adjust these microphones accordingly. So that's a pretty cool feature. It's not just a fixed microphone setup. That's a key thing. The other thing that this recorder does that I haven't seen anything else do is because it takes an XLR input and it has two of them here, I can go on the road, set up a podcast, plug in two mics right here, and then I can set this up. It's got a little screw right here where I can set it up on a tripod like this and just place that wherever I want. And then what's happening is the X and Y microphones here, they record all the background in stereo. And then at the bottom of the recorder, I can actually record two monaural inputs, two microphones, and all of that sound is getting put on two tracks. So it's easier for editing. But if you think about the power of that, it's absolutely awesome because now I could be maybe at a ball game and I can set this up like this to capture all the sound of the cheering crowd and everybody behind me, but then I've also got my dedicated microphone plugged into it, and maybe I've got a co-host or somebody I'm interviewing. They can also have a microphone, and all of the audio sound is going into the Zoom. It is fantastic. You just can't find those features anywhere else. So to give you the rest of the rundown, the Zoom, you can plug in an external mic. There's a little plug right here. I don't think you'll ever use it. It also does have the ability to work off remote control. It's an accessory. You can buy that separately, but once you've plugged it up, maybe you put it on a tripod, you can use the remote just like you would with the TV or anything else, and you can control all the features on the Zoom. That's pretty powerful. So this thing has a standard USB connection. It works with Mac, Windows, whatever type of computer you got. It's real easy to get the audio off the recorder. It also has an input here for if you want to do any sort of monitoring with headphones. You can plug those in, put them on, and get a real good feel for exactly the sound quality and the recording that you're about to do. As far as what's bad about this recorder, because I always try to do a very honest review, there are actually two things. They are minimal, but if I were to say I would change these two features, the first thing is, if you look right here, there is a scan disk reservoir. It's a little door that protects the SD card. In my opinion, this is not made very well. It feels to be a little fragile. And I think if I were to throw the unit around, this door would probably be the first thing to break, and then your memory card would be exposed to some degree. So I wish this would have been made a little bit better. The actual recorder itself, the body of the recorder is nice and rugged, but this little door, I don't know what they were thinking when they did that. So I'm not particularly a big fan there. And then the other cosmetic thing is the battery cover here is also not very durable. In fact, when I took this off for the first time, the little clips that make it snap shut, one of them broke and the door got a little bit loose. So what I did was I just put a little piece of Scotch tape over the end of it here, and that holds the door secure and closed. So it's not a big deal. And to tell you the truth, knowing that these two little things are what they are, it would never stop me for buying this recorder again. This recorder goes, I've seen it priced as high as $350 and as low as like $299. Now keep in mind, I am an authorized reseller. So I can guarantee that my price will either meet or beat the lowest price that you see online. So keep that in mind. I sell brand new units from the factory, full warranty. They're not refurbished. And the beauty of buying something from me is, of course, one, it helps me out. Two, I'll also send you a free instructional video on how to get set up, get everything plugged in and working exactly the way you want it. So you buy the Zoom recorder, I really don't see how you could go wrong. I think you'll love the fidelity. It's just a really nice universal recorder. And speaking of portability, which, like I said, if you're going to be a podcaster, you either want to make sure you can plug into your office or you want to be able to take the show on the road and still make a good recording. It comes with a real rugged, it's almost like a Tupperware shell. It's got a little clasp on the side of it here. And you can put the recorder in this. It just plops right in there and you lock it down. This little case will fit in a backpack, duffel bag, whatever. And I travel all the time and I put together shows all the time. I'll put my recorder in here. I got a microphone stand. They look like this. They fold up. These are actually really great. Obviously, the microphone goes on the end there and it's adjustable for height. That's pretty nice. I'll put that in there. And then, of course, the microphone. Anytime you buy a microphone, it has its own carrying case. And you figure, I take, spilling stuff already. But I take these couple things right here, as you can see, and that's my whole studio. I can hold it in one hand, and it's perfect quality. So my advice to you, buy the Zoom H4n. Click on the link below. I'm going to put all the sound that I recorded from this show. I'll also add some links where you can download and sample the audio quality. But I'm telling you, you won't go wrong, and it is far better than an Edirol, a Sony, a Panasonic, anything else out there for the price point. Zoom will smoke it. Thanks for tuning in. Keep in mind, we're going to be doing some more reviews. I hope you enjoyed this one. Take care.